Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Y'all, we have officially crossed over into summer. Those cool days of spring, they are gone. We are in summer and the garden center is hitting its summer stride. Things are flourishing here. So what is taking shape? Right now, we have got some absolutely stunning supertunias. The supertunias are loving life. We just had a little bit of rain, so they are soaking it up. But of course, we love supertunias because they are full sun annuals. They're going to last us throughout the entire summer season. They want that 5 to 6 hours or more of sun, and they come in a wide range of colors. Whether you like that hot pink, you want to go with the deep, moody red of black cherry. Your supertunias, of course, will do great in containers, in hanging baskets, in hay racks, and the landscape. This is our personal favorite right now this year is the Supertunia Vista Cool Jazz. We have it in our back patio area, and it is thriving and just growing like a weed in the most wonderful way possible when we say that. Other annuals that love the heat. These are these plants that you're going to go to that are going to give you that color all season long. This is one of those annuals that we sell as an annual, but for us in North Carolina, a Zone 8A, it is going to be a perennial. This, of course, is the ever-beloved lemon coral sedum. Perfect ground cover. I have it along the pathway going to the patio. It is beautiful. Put that in the very front of your landscape to create a border and then build up with either other annuals or perennials and shrubs. This also does great in a container and acts as that spiller. Then we have the Creekside Champions Gum Frena. This is Fireball Pink. So Fireball Pink is going to give you a really intense pink flowers. Technically, they're not the flowers. The yellow part is the flower. This is going to be more petite if you're familiar with the Truffula Pink. So the Fireball Pink is going to be about 12 to 18 inches tall. Beautiful, drought tolerant. Your butterflies love this. In a container, it acts as your thriller. And then, of course, it does really, really well in the landscape as well. More petunias here. This is the Creekside Champions. The bad thing about the sun not being out right now, this is the Inferno Orange, and it literally glows. Big, huge flowers on it that we love. The Angelonia, if you're not growing Angelonia in your containers or the landscape, this is one of those annuals that goes throughout the entire summer. It thrives in the heat. This is the Angel Face Perfectly Pink. Kind of, if you want to say like a snapdragon, that gives you an idea, but extremely heat tolerant. One of my personal favorites, also have this in our landscape at the house, is the Aromagica Purple Heliotrope. This is one of those plants that prefers it to be more dry. The honeybees go nuts over this, will go all the way through November to your freeze. Beautiful, beautiful plant. And then salvias. We talk about salvias all the time because your hummingbirds, your pollinators love it. The unplugged pink here, going to be more petite. Fuchsia blooms. The hummingbirds go nuts. And then, of course, portulaca. It is a cloudy day, so the portulaca is closed. Perfect ground cover. So if you have a hot, dry area, maybe it's in a rock garden or over a wall in a container you want it to spill, then your Mojave portulacas are great because they are low, big blooms when the sun is out, and these do fantastic. Heat tolerant. They also make a stunning hanging basket. I did the fuchsia in a hanging basket 2 years ago at the chicken coop. Oh my heavens, it was beautiful. And since it's drought tolerant, that means less watering on you. All right, what else is in its prime right now? Let's go take a look. And you may say, well, Jenny, I appreciate annuals, but if you're like my mama, she wants to go with perennials. Of course, perennials are those plants that are going to come back 2 or more years. The summer perennials are hitting their stride, my friend. If you are not growing Gaillardia in your sun garden, you are missing out on the easiest, showiest, most beautiful native perennial. Is extremely versatile. This is spin top red, also known as like a blanket flower. This is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 9. Extremely versatile. This is what I tell people. We went to Wyoming last year for our anniversary. We go to the beach of South Carolina every year with our family. Gaillardia was in Wyoming, and it is growing in the sand dunes of South Carolina. Any kind of perennial that has that versatility deserves a place in my garden. And the spin top red, definitely. It's gonna be nice and short, like 8 to 12 inches tall. Beautiful, non-stop bloomer. Then we go into some Agastache. This is a Creekside champion. This is the peach pearl. I have it in the front bed at the house. Y'all, it has just started to bloom and it is beautiful. Now, what's different about peach pearl is that it is going to be more wide than tall. A lot of times your Agastache can get really tall. This is going to be 8 inches tall, 16 inches wide. Hardy in zones 6 to 10, definite full sun, and of course Agastache is going to be nice and drought tolerant. Pollinators love it, and that peach color in your garden is primo. Your Rudbeckia, so this is just getting going, right? So Rudbeckia loves it hot. This is Little Henry, and Little Henry is going to give us a really fun, different bloom than maybe the echinacea that you think of. Very fine serrated petals on it, and it's going to get some height. It is going to be about 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide, hardy in zones 4 to 8. But Rudbeckia, classic, gorgeous perennial for that sun garden. And then we're coming in to, this is an echinacea. This is a flamethrower. Now, the echinacea is just beginning to bloom for us in our gardens, but flamethrower, as you can see on that one little flower that is beginning to open up, you're going to get those beautiful, the yellows, the oranges, a little bit of a hint of a pink. You can tell she is going to be a nice and tall one. 3 feet tall, 3.5 feet wide, my friends, is going to take a nice footprint in your garden, hardy in zones 4 to 9. A beautiful plant. Now, a lot of times folks will ask, they want a non-stop perennial bloomer, and those can be hard to come by. You've got your Gaillardia, so you're good to go on that one. The next one would be your Coreopsis. So Coreopsis, along with your Gaillardia, are going to be one of those few full sun perennials that just keep blooming all season long. So this is the yellow and red, the Uptick series. We love the Uptick series. We have grown it for years. It is beautiful. This nice bicolor, so you get that burgundy on the inside with those yellow flowers on the outside. It's going to be basically a 14 by 14, hardy in zones 5 to 9. Very healthy, vigorous plants, get nice and big. A lot of times people will put these like by their mailbox, right? Because your mailbox typically maybe is in the full sun and you've got that area that you don't want to have to fuss over a bunch. Those perennials are going to give you nonstop color all summer long. You're going to love them. I am so excited to announce to you that butterfly bush season has arrived here in North Carolina. We are just beginning to see those blooms open up on these beloved shrubs. Love this. I am surrounded by the butterfly candy Buddleias. These are going to be nice and petite shrubs. These are not going to be those ginormous butterfly bushes. We have got the first blooms here on little raspberry. Look at these blooms. Look at the shrub. They're just starting to open up and give us those beautiful raspberry pink flowers. And then it is absolutely covered in buds. I am so stinking excited. This is the first butterfly candy flowers that I have seen for this season, and it makes my heart so happy. It looks like next in line is going to be Little Grape. So Little Grape is going to give us Guess what? That's right, my friends. A lovely purple, nice rich purple bloom on it. The butterfly candies, they're going to be in about that 3-foot range, a 3 by 3. Your butterflies go nuts over them. Jerry tells the story. We had some of the butterfly candies in the production house last year, had a little grape. As at the end of this season, a monarch came in. She was all over little grape. He forgot his phone. He went to the house, came back. She was still there and got a photo with her. So we have got the little grape. Then you've got little coconut. Little coconut is going to be a white flower. This is the one that stopped me dead in my tracks last summer when we were at Cultivate. The fragrance on this is divine. Such a lovely floral fragrance to it. And then you've got Little Taffy. Little Taffy is going to be close in behind as well. She has got some buds right here, and the difference between taffy and raspberry is going to be the intensity of the pink. Raspberry is more intense, taffy is more of a lighter pink. Love these, very, very excited. We've got some more butterfly bushes that are in full bloom. Let's go look at those. Butterfly bushes come in all shapes and sizes. Here we have the Miss series. The Miss series from Proven Winners, they're going to be a little bit taller. They're going to be in that 4 to 6 foot tall, not quite as wide. Beautiful. So we have got 2 different ones right here for you. We have got Miss Ruby, and we have got Miss Violet. So of course the violet, that nice rich purple, and then Miss Ruby is that beautiful, beautiful pink, really intense. Notice that the flowers are going to be a little bit on the smaller side, but very prolific. Of course, all of your butterfly bushes, they love the full sun. On the drier side, if you lose a butterfly bush during the winter, it's probably because it's too wet. So in our clay soil, we want to raise them up a little bit when we plant them. So what I was saying is that their blooms are a little bit smaller but prolific compared over here to the Pugster butterfly bushes. This is Pugster Pico Punch, which is brand new this year. Probably the most petite butterfly bush out there that I know of. It is going to be about in that 2-foot range, but thick, full blooms on it. They are just beginning to open. Of course, they start at the base and go all the way up. That Pico Punch, really intense raspberry color. Then you have this Sorbet, Pugster Sorbet. This too is new, and it's going to give you an ombre effect. The flowers start out a nice kind of lavender, and then you get a beautiful kind of fade to like a light pink. So if you want a little something different, even though we've had some rain, the bumblebees, they are coming out. They are hungry and they are looking for food. And then of course you've got the blue and the pinker. So butterfly bushes, full sun, no less than 6 hours, can go all the way up. Once established, nice and drought tolerant. Once they start blooming, they do not stop until our first hard freeze. Great perennial. It looks like a shrub, but it's technically a perennial. Our perennial hibiscus, right? So these are those beautiful, nice, large perennials that in the winter completely die back. When they start to come back in the spring, they love the heat and the humidity. They thrive in it. So sometimes they're going to be the very last thing to emerge from your garden. But once they start growing, my friends, they grow fast. So here we have watermelon ruffles, one of my personal favorites. Nice dark foliage. It is going to give us dinner plate size blooms, a lovely watermelon color that is nice and ruffled. The petals are going to overlap with one another. It is a stunning, and as Jerry was showing you, it has got some buds all over it. We don't have any blooms yet. So we've got the watermelon ruffles. You have got lilac crush, which is going to be nice and upright. You see this is a nice bright green with those pretty lilac purple flowers. And if you want something more small, more petite, then you have got the like edge of night, which is going to be a nice deep, dark black foliage with a beautiful light pink, almost iridescent blooms on it. We have the brand new this year is the Summerific Garnet Globes. which is going to give us those beautiful, really intense red flowers. It's going to be about 3.5 feet tall, so not nearly as big as some of the other ones. And then, of course, we have got the cookies and cream. So cookies and cream, black foliage, white flowers. Where are we going to put our summerific and our perennial hibiscus? We're going to put them in full sun. I would say a minimum of 5 hours, can go all the way up. And they love to be in moisture. So if you've got an area that's historically damp, then this is going to be a great spot for it. You can also have them on irrigation. I don't really have like historically damp areas, but I do have some irrigation. So I make sure that those are on that irrigation. The more water you give them, the bigger they are and the more blooms you're going to get throughout the entire season. Hydrangeas season is here and we are on the tail end of rose season, but it is the perfect time to go ahead and let's add them in before the massive heat of the summer hits. So where we are standing right now, these are going to be your full sun loving hydrangeas, because hydrangeas, there is one for every kind of spot. So these are going to be your sun loving. One that we have, I believe we have more up at the front, but she is so pretty right now, is the Tiny Quickfire. Tiny Quickfire is nice and petite. Y'all, this has been outside. This is what she looks like this time of year, and is going to be in that 2-foot range. Color specific blooms on it, kind of that cream to that lime color, nice and short and petite. Have this in the gardens as well. And then of course the Stormproof, Incredible Stormproof, a beautiful Annabelle type hydrangea arborescens that is going to give us beautiful color specific flowers. It has a lovely sweet fragrance to it. I've got some bumblebees that are kind of like hanging out on here as we try to dry out a little bit. Full sun in that 3 to 4 foot range. Beautiful if you want those nice white creamy flowers. And then we're going into the panicle season. The panicles are getting ready to bloom. Of course, get all sorts of different kinds of sizes. So I would recommend, if you want to add a hydrangea, especially to your sun garden, you want to move with purpose. We get to a point in like mid-late June and y'all, it's going to be a struggle. So you're going to want to add these babies as soon as you possibly can. And then roses. My goodness, this of course are these beautiful roses that we brought in, started them as bare roots. There you have got, I don't even know how to say that, Tiamo. Beautiful red. You have got colors of all sizes and shapes. So you've got reds, you've got pinks, you've got yellows, and all of these are going to be very, very fragrant. So if you're looking to add a rose to your garden, of course, roses love the full sun. They come in different sizes as far as height, mature height. So make sure, as always, with your shrubs that you are choosing with the mature size in mind. So just pay attention to your tags when you are out there shopping and purchasing. All right, talking about if you've got some shade, because we've been focusing on the sun, let's get some color for your shade gardens. All right, my shade gardener friends out there. Sometimes when we think of shade gardens, we get a little stumped. You absolutely can have a huge variety of colors and textures in that shade garden. Sometimes it is a little hard to find those non-stop bloomers. They do exist, but also let's branch out besides doing just greens and shades of green. Let's bring in some beautiful color. Two of my absolute favorite annuals to add to the shade garden to fill in those little nooks and crannies, whether it's in a container or the landscape. Number one, Caladiums. Caladiums are going to give you beautiful color. My current favorite one this year is creme brulee, heart to heart creme brulee, brand new this year. I was lucky enough last year to get my hands on some of the corms. I planted them up. Y'all, they were unbelievable all throughout the season. You're going to get the creams, the pinks, a little bit of green in there. They thrive in the humidity. So as the dew point goes up, the humidity goes up, these babies get nice and big. So whether you want the pinks or maybe some of the reds and the pinks of the scarlet flame, You have got those. You've got whites with the White Wonder. If you want to go really dark and moody, go with Burning Heart, right? If you want something a little fun and funky, then you have got Clowning Around, which gives you like ruffly leaves on it that get huge. And then we have got, of course, the Lemon Blush, tons of different colors and options for you. So the Caladiums definitely always end up in my shade garden. The number 2 for shade gardens is Coleus. Coleus from Proven Winners, the Color Blaze, is fantastic because it will do full sun to full shade. So when we're thinking about those shade gardens, let's add in Coleus. You have the drops right here. So you've got chocolate drop, strawberry drop, and cherry drop. They are going to be great trailers, or they're going to be great ground covers. If you need something that's in the smaller size, the Mini Me Watermelon is going to give you that red, yellow, and green. Personal favorite is the Mini Me Chartreuse. Y'all, they look like little shrubs by the end of the season. They stay nice and tight and compact. We have not pinched these. They naturally stay really, really tight. They're going to max out at about like 20 inches in the landscape if you have a long growing season like we do in North Carolina. And then, of course, all the beautiful colors that you see. So it really is, the world is your oyster when you are choosing these colors to go in your shade garden and your sun garden. Torchlight, of course, is one of my favorites. It is that beautiful color. And then El Brito has all of the different variations. So there are colors and textures for everybody, every garden. Throughout the entire heat of the summer, your garden does not have to wane as the temperatures begin to go up. Yes, we may have to choose some different plants than what we chose first thing in the spring. That's the beautiful thing about gardens, is we have that succession planting, right? So whether it's your shrubs, your perennials, your annuals, everybody's going to hit their peak hopefully at different times. That way your garden can transition from one season to the next. As the temperatures go up, your garden will change and evolve, and those different plants that thrive in those conditions will really step up and begin to be the star of the show. So we would love to see you here at Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina. Wednesdays through Saturdays, we are open from 9 to 3. Mark your calendar for June the 20th, because that is going to be the big fun day for the summer here at the nursery. Our friends at Southern Living Plant Collection, they are coming and doing like a front yard, front porch garden party. It is going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have all sorts of different kind of activities, Q's and A's, plant highlights. Special guests are coming in. We have, of course, got Erin, the impatient gardener. Yes, she is from Wisconsin. Yes, she can grow some of those Southern Living plants in her garden as well. So she will be here. Would love to meet you. We've got some other folks from Charlotte, from Tennessee, all over the place coming to be here. So we would love to have you. Going to have 3 food trucks where you're going to eat well. You're going to have Morning Glory Coffee. She does a phenomenal job with coffees. She does other stuff too as well. So if you're not a coffee drinker, then there you go. Silverback donuts. They do mini donuts. They're delicious. And then we have got like a meal truck right for your lunch. And so you can have that as well. So come on out on June the 20th. It is free. The festivities really begin around 10. The nursery, of course, opens at 9. So I would encourage you to get here early, because I have a feeling it is going to be very full. So the early bird gets the worm. Of course, will be open all that day until 3 o'clock. So we look forward to seeing you, whether it's on the 20th or this week. As always, y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.